guys, Doc here to tell you about something that could really give you the edge in gaming. I'm talking about our show sponsor, Fade Grips. Thumbstick grips as well as controller grips that give comfort, precision, and control so you can take your gaming to the next level. Just go to fadegrips.store and check out all they have to offer. And with our promo code, CAG20, at checkout, you can get 20% off your entire order. That's fadegrips.store with offer code CAG20.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 31 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me this week are my co-hosts Doc H1X1.
Hey, what's up?
Chocolate Bear.
How you doing, folks?
And joining us in our rotating fourth chair, community member Maldo Rob.
Woo!
Oh, there it is. I wasn't going to put the woohoo that you must have added into the show notes. But woohoo! There we are. Welcome back to the show, Maldo. It's been a while. How you been?
Be here.
He's been great. All right.
All right, well.
First up, we are having our mailbag episode next episode. It's also coincidentally going to be our Christmas/holiday episode. So if you want to send in questions, send them into cagpodcast@gmail.com. Make them Christmas themed if you can. If not, we'll obviously still answer whatever questions you guys have. But the monthly mailbag channel is also open in Discord now, so you can also post your questions there, DM a host, do whatever. However you can get us the questions, go for it, and we'll make sure we answer those next week on the podcast. All right, up next we have a couple different contests going on. Chocolate, tell the fine folks about them.
We have two free contests running right now. There is one on our Twitter, that's at CAG Podcast. It's a Gleam.io contest, so all you have to do is click on it, sub to us on Twitter, YouTube, and you get X amount of entries, and you get to win 1 free month of Xbox Live.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting for that. No, I was like, oh, okay.
That is exciting stuff. Super easy way to enter for a free month. Everybody can use a free month of Xbox Live, right?
If they stack, why not? And our next one is, of course, the most coveted prize of any podcasting show. It is our monthly snapshot contest. Easy to enter. Join our club on Xbox Live. Post a picture, a clip, anything that is awesome, awful, downright weird.
Funny.
We'll choose funny. Yeah, not so much. We'll choose our favourite one. And you will win $10. That is right. $10 to spend on whatever you want.
Somebody has to dethrone Dan Pod.
Yeah, because that man has got some clips on there this week.
And they're good ones, too. So get to work, people.
How many weeks has he won straight?
This is actually only his first one. I feel like he gets a honorable mention every week, but I think we hold it against him when he posts 17 videos every single month. So
At that
5
point,
minutes long.
It's a numbers game.
That also does not trigger them.
One of them's bound to hit.
exactly.
I mean, he
Throw
may
enough
not,
shit at the wall.
I was going to say, he may not win every month, but he wins in my heart.
There you go.
Lovely.
I mean, I am surprised he hasn't run into a max limit of space on his...
Oh, he has. He deletes stuff.
Sorry,
I
apologize.
I was
My
literally in a party with him like 2 weeks ago. And he's like, oh, crap, I can't record anything. I have to delete some old captures. And I was like, wonder why.
Okay, that explains a lot. Then I was like, man, I cannot believe he hasn't run into that yet.
Yeah, so I think he goes back and deletes them when he needs to.
Daily.
All right, yes. So some cool contests going on. Make sure you guys get into those. All right, up next, another week in gaming. Oh, what have we all been playing? Let's start with Super Smash Bros. Actually, Maldo, you're into that. I'm into that. How you like it?
Finally. First of all, Risky, how do you buy it by mistake?
I mean, that's just what I like to tell myself a lot nowadays. I accidentally buy things. It's just you accidentally go to the store, you accidentally put it in a cart, accidentally add the funds via PayPal, and then accidentally hit check out and download or whatever
Checks
it is.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds legit.
It's
I'll
a
buy that.
blur most of the time. It's just like, do I want that? Oh, it's downloading. What happened? So
So
Oh,
this
well,
is my
no refund.
first Smash in a very, very, very long time. So I'm not super familiar with it, but
Phrasing.
all of the press, all of the press for it leading up to it was how many characters we're gonna have, and it's every single character from every Nintendo property plus some. And then when I booted it up, there was the original 8. I cried a little on the inside.
yep.
That meant you had a lot left.
I was like, whoa! I thought there was supposed to be 60-something characters or 70-something. There's 8.
I was misinformed.
So wait a minute, did I not get the? And I bought the expensive, the $84 version that has the DLC. I was like, man, I want all of them now.
You
Nothing.
get 8.
Yes. So I was a little surprised, but
It is a weird unlocking system because I ran into the same thing where I was like, these look like the 8 people I could use on the N64 version of this 15 years ago. What's going on?
yes. So I had no idea how to unlock, and I would play, and then someone would show. And the challengers, when a new challenger would arrive, they would beat my ass. I don't know if that happened to you.
Yep.
I was not great, and I had no idea that you could rematch them until I
Yeah.
heard it on another podcast.
I've heard a lot of people talk about that's not surfaced very well.
It is
Yeah.
not. There's not a lot of tutorial stuff going on, especially for people that like it's their first time. Like,
Me.
or like knowing their moves and stuff. Like, I was on Google more than I was actually on Smash this past week. Like, how do I get characters? How do I play well with said characters? And like, it's just, yeah.
See,
Not
I was
a lot
just
going
about
on
to
there.
ask you guys that because everything I'm seeing on Twitter is coming down to frustration of. I think everybody knows the basis is that you have to use each eight characters. They each have certain people they'll unlock, but I think the problem a lot of people are having is they'll have a lot of the majority of the people unlocked, but they don't know what they have to do to specifically get like the last few ones they don't have unlocked.
Google and YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
There are
The-
different paths that lead to different characters, but my roster I probably have in the 30s now is probably way different than Risky's.
Yeah, mine, I have maybe
okay.
20-ish, but I just went on YouTube and was like, how to unlock characters the fastest. And of course, the video was like, all right, what you need to do is set up a custom match and then just run back and forth on the map for 20 minutes.
no way.
No.
Cheat your way through this a little bit, and then, like, after you do a quick one-stock match so you can knock out the opponent quick, which is a player 2 that isn't really there, and I'm just using 2 Joy-Cons, so you knock them out quick.
Oh,
It brings up a challenger fight. You fight him, and then you have to force quit out of the game, get back into the game, load back into that custom match, knock him off the edge again, so another challenger appears. So I'm just figuring out the easiest way to cheese this game, like I do with most games. So I'll probably end
figured
up
that out?
unlocking all of them, and then just not
done.
playing. Yeah, it'll be like I beat the game, I collected them all. It might be the wrong game, but we did it. We're here, so that's that.
I've been playing the classic mode. Have you played that, Risky?
I've just been doing a lot of custom games.
Like,
1v1.
did you just not listen to my setup?
I mean, I figured you did more than just attempt to.
You were
Cheese
wrong.
Oh, no, I did. You know what I did? I decided it'd be fun to play Waterloo at Smash, that's just his game for whatever reason. We played about 13 matches. I won one of them, and that was the last time I did anything competitively online in that game. So
How do you set up a private match between people?
you have to go into like the arena or something.
Okay.
And like if somebody has like an arena open, it'll be like friends arenas, and then you can just hop into it. So what's cool though is you take your little icon and you set it in the wrestling ring, and you can see how many people are on the sides like watching the match.
Interesting.
And then when the game's over, I think the loser gets set out of it, and then somebody else can put their icon into the ring to fight that person. So it's kind of like having a little, I don't know, like a little chat room / party room where you're fighting and stuff. It's kind of cool actually.
There's no in-game chat. Like I for me to use it in chat, I use my Xbox and I use the pass-through, and I just go to an Xbox party.
Yeah, that or Discord is really, I don't know how else. I'm obviously not going to use Nintendo's
Can't
way
believe you
of
guys-
communicating with my friends.
There's
Can't
so
believe you
much
guys aren't using
potential.
their intuitive app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I've been playing classic mode, and so you pretty much do a series of fights, and there's this weird running challenge where you got to get all these yellow orbs, and you have to break through certain walls, or a black hole sucks you in and then you lose. At
Yeah,
the end of
I have no idea what you're talking about.
classic mode.
It's the same game.
Yeah, same game. You go through a series of fights. Sometimes it'll add some different things. It's usually characters you don't have. And at the end of it, you fight a big boss and you win. Like my first one was the 2 big hands. I just had to beat the hell out of them. They didn't really do anything.
Those hands are evil, dude. If you watch that opening cinematic and they're just murdering everyone except for Kirby somehow. How is Kirby the one that escapes out of
Kirby
all?
can fly faster than light, speed of light.
Okay, well, of course you had
I've
a
played those
legitimate
Kirby
answer
games.
to that
I
question.
don't know about.
The
but
other mode I did was the spirit mode.
Yes.
I think that's what it's called. I did like 4 or 5 of those where you unlock the spirits, which I also don't understand what those are, but I'm unlocking some of them. So
at the end of the classic mode, it guarantees you a new fighter. So that's why I've been doing that. Instead of your
Oh.
crazy, convoluted cheesing method.
You mean the fastest way to unlock all the characters in the game? Yes.
It didn't sound fast.
Risky's got a YouTube
90
video
minutes,
up. It's great.
Maldo. The
Million
YouTube
views.
man told me 90 minutes to unlock every character in the game.
YouTube
And is
man.
that YouTube video going to be in the description?
Yeah, I'll also post it. I'll throw it up in Discord. Come join us in Discord, and I will share that knowledge with you.
So do you know anything about the spirits? What they do?
I
This is a
know
big part of it.
I know I have a Pikachu and I have an Eevee. So that's it.
So there's spirits and then there's sub-spirits, and each one has a different stat. And it has a weird...
Wait.
Sounds
kind of-
convoluted.
Let me write this down. Hold on. Sub spirits. Okay.
So the main spirits, there's 3 different options: a grapple, an attack, or a defender. And then it's kind of like a rock paper scissors thing, where grapple beats attack, which beats defense. So certain characters, you change your spirits, and then the sub spirits have different effects. So the sub spirits will be like, wind doesn't affect you because you'll be on a board where you'll get blown off, or there'll be water and water will push you off the board. So you'll have a spirit that says water doesn't affect you or poison doesn't affect you, and then you interchange them. But it's super easy because if you do a match, right when you click, it'll be like, your spirit's not right. Autofill to put the best ones.
So what's the point of even having them if it's just going to do it for me automatically?
I don't know. Because you can add your own. You can do your own variety.
But
Boy.
the game obviously knows the most optimal way to set up my spirits, it sounds like. So,
Yes.
but if I want to make the game harder, I'll just put the completely wrong one in there. I'll put in rock when I'm playing against paper.
Okay, I don't know. Fight me, bro.
No, okay.
Man,
can do
Smash
that.
has come a long way since 64, huh, guys?
Yeah, it's got real complicated.
I mean, the main core mechanics at least are good. It is a Smash game, so I'm obviously really bad at it. And without Googling everybody's special moves, I wouldn't know how to do anything. But Pikachu is who I've been maining and trying to figure out. So.
Young Link is super OP.
I do have him, actually. He was
He's
one of the ones I
awesome.
unlocked.
Awesome. Use him.
I'll have to give him a shot.
The map selector hurts my eyes.
Yeah, it's because they're so tiny.
And there's like 70 of them.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, they only want they want all of them on one screen instead of having multiple pages. So each icon for the maps is
Huh.
so
Sure that holds
small.
up well in handheld mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Are you playing in handheld mode, Maldo? Or are you playing with a pro controller?
Most of the time in handheld.
See, I found that pretty rough. I don't know. My hands couldn't handle it, so I had to use the pro controller. I don't know. They're like cramping up.
I mean, it was better. So I played Sunday. We had a couple friends over, and 4 of us played Smash, and I was on a single Joy-Con, while the other ones had
Nope.
full controllers, and one was using my pro controller.
Count me
And
out.
that is not the way to play that game.
Wow.
Unless
the way.
you're setting up custom matches and you need 2 players that you're controlling both of them.
In which case, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not made of Joy-Cons.
Oh. Well, buy some more. It's Christmas. Ask for some.
Yeah, but 4-player Smash, there is nothing better than that. Nothing more fun than beers and Smash.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
No, Beers and Super Smash Brothers. That really doesn't sound that
okay.
much better, I guess. So
Yeah.
it's a video game podcast. If you don't know what Super Smash Bros. Is, then maybe you don't belong here. I didn't mean that.
Yeah,
Feel
we
welcome
take all.
to stay. Even if you haven't heard of. Can we move on
Swiftly
from this?
on.
Yes.
You good,
I'm done.
Maldo? Next up, let's talk about some Below. Doc, I know you and I got a chance to dabble in this. It came out this week in Game Pass, day and date. So that was pretty cool because I've been excited about this game. How are you finding your first couple hours in Below, Doc?
It's really cool, but and maybe you could speak more to this than me because I'm hoping you know more than I do because I know we joke a lot of times games don't hold your hand. This game really doesn't hold your hand at explaining anything.
Have you Googled anything of this? Because I haven't yet.
I haven't because I kind of want to take it like people do like Dark Souls games where you try to go in blind and do that as long as you can, you know. But man, even from like cooking, you know, like there's no recipe book. You just kind of have to know what makes what, and then there's some things in the world that I'm not exactly sure if I'm doing the right thing sometimes.
How they like interact with each other.
Yeah. So maybe you don't know any more than I do. Then it sounds like maybe.
Well, yeah. It's like so when you first get dumped off, you're just kind of on this boat. You park it at the shore, and then you're just like, all right. And there's no HUD whatsoever.
Yeah.
You just start wandering around, and you see these like they're little like sparkling items on the map, like sticks and rocks and stuff that you can pick up, and you're like, why am I doing this? And then you finally find a campfire, and it's like, oh, okay, so you can craft stuff.
Right.
The cool thing about, like you said, they don't really guide you with the crafting, but one thing you can do is if you click on an item, it'll tell you if it can be paired with something, like it'll light up something else in your inventory.
Did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, so if you spend enough time clicking on different things in your inventory, eventually some of them will light up, and then when you click on 3 of them, you have to click an additional time to actually craft the item. So right before you do that, on the left, it actually shows you what you're about to craft, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
But the only things I've found to craft are things like arrows, extra
same.
torches.
Basic stuff so far, yeah.
Yeah, which the torch... I don't know if it took you as long as it took me to figure out that the torches had like a life on them, like they are slowly deteriorating. And I kept thinking I was like dropping them or something because I'd be like in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, he just tossed it down. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, okay, well, how do I pick my torch back up? So I was like, all right, so I will just like sheath my torch every fight so I won't accidentally drop it, and then I'd just have it out, and I was walking, and then it disappeared, and I was like, all right, what is going on?
I pressed nothing that time.
But then I actually put it as a like quick equip item, like on the left and right D-pad, and that's where you can see it actually like wearing out until it disappears. And that game, the only times I died in that game were to those stupid spike pits, and it was because I couldn't see them because I didn't have a torch.
That was the first way I died in that game was those, and I'm just like,
did you yell?
Well, I was, I guess, more disappointed that it was an insta kill, that like I had, no going back. It's like, oh yeah, I've because I had noticed one of those before and I didn't step on it, but I kind of assumed it was a trap. But then, like you said, like it was dark and I was just plowing through a field and I was just like, oh man, that looks terrible. That guy's impaled. But yeah, that's the way I've died. That's the 2 ways I've died so far. But I've gotten pretty far. I guess my question to you is, do you know? Like, how far does this game go? Like, do you go, like, is it, I know it's a roguelike in the sense that, like, there's procedurally generated, I guess,
levels.
Cave, whatever you call them, like, levels.
Levels to the actual, like, dungeon thing that you're in, the cavern.
Yeah, so does that end in a boss fight, or?
I wish I could tell you.
Okay, because
I have no idea what's down there.
I've not gotten far enough to know. Yeah,
it's part of the mystery, right? Got to figure out what's down there.
I guess you're right. Yeah, it's a good looking game too, though.
I love the style of it.
Yeah,
and like your guy's so small that I can't really tell what he like. I was playing on my 65-inch TV, and I couldn't really tell what this dude was. I just knew he had a shield and a sword. But the game looks really good though. Did you figure out the whole like saving things like with Blue Fire?
So I think I might have figured it out, but I'm not sure I know all the details of it or
it's
the
kind of
nuance
just like a save point. So like each enemy,
that's all it is. Okay.
Yeah, each enemy drops these little crystal things or whatever. And if you collect 25 of them, when you hit your next campfire, you can turn it into a blue campfire, and that just makes it so when you die, you have the option to go from your first fire to wherever you set up the blue fire. So if you are pretty far down,
okay.
But the thing is, you're gonna spawn back in without any
Enemies.
of your items. So,
Oh.
but you can go back and find your body. I did find my body once, and I'm not even positive what I could take off of it. I'm assuming it was my whole inventory, but I'm not positive.
Okay, so I didn't know that. So it kind of works like bonfires in that sense, and like Dark Souls, where you could travel to different bonfires, I guess, basically, in a way.
Yeah, but it's only the one. So it's like if you set it up in a bad spot, you kind
Oh,
of screw
okay.
yourself.
So you can only have one going currently versus going
Right.
back
So
to it. Okay.
I put it on one initially, and then I had enough to spend the 25 gems or whatever to put it on the next fire. And then I didn't have an option or anything when I had to start over again. It just sent me to like the last blue fire I'd set up.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. The combat is simple and seems fun. I haven't really run into any challenging enemies besides the stupid hidden spike traps.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and then, do you figure out how to use the map? If you hit like select, you can kind of figure out where to go.
Yeah, I kind of like the way it does that because it kind of also tells you if there's potentially hidden ways that you could figure out or there's more to a room, I guess.
Yep, like there's 3 ways to exit this, but I
yeah.
only saw the one, so there must be 2 other areas somewhere here.
Which then that's when I start to get out my magic lamp and see if that does anything.
Yep.
So.
And then it is like part survival. You do have like a hunger meter and a thirst meter, which usually I hate in games, but it doesn't seem too punishing as of right now. It's like
Yeah.
everything's pretty plentiful. Like bats will just swarm you sometimes, and if you just swing at them, you can chop them up for
Morsels.
meat and for
Yeah.
morsels, right? And there's like puddles everywhere that you can just drink the water and then also fill up a little water bottle you have. So.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like none of that is too. I've never been hurting or like had my life drained because of any of those things yet. So.
Right. Yeah, neither have I. So that's good. I hate games where it's like, oh, you're starving every like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Too
Or
intrusive.
it's less than that. It's like every minute it seems like in some games. So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
There's no way you should be hungry this many times in one day. It's incredible.
Worms?
Yes, unless maybe you have worms.
I don't know what's
no
wrong
worms
with
in
me.
this game.
Okay.
That we know of yet.
True. Yeah, so I'm excited to keep going. It's I say this with a lot of games, but this is definitely would be a good Switch game. I wish it was portable, but it looks
Every
really
game would be a good Switch game.
correct.
This is another one of those though that I'm wondering because like I'm playing right next to a monitor, and sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that's a little a spike trap or that's an enemy there or something like that. I'm like, that would seems like that'd be incredibly hard to view on a handheld screen on the Switch. Some of those things.
Yeah, I could see that. I guess.
Bring it real close to your face.
Yep. Bring your magnifying glass
just
too.
put Google Cardboard VR, the Switch in it, and you're good. Just-
Perfect.
Could you imagine?
Print it out on Labo.
there you go,
That's it.
Labo. Yeah,
Good
it's
God.
coming. It's the next. It's DLC for Labo. It's coming.
Are they still coming out with new Labo sets? Does anyone actually know the answer for that quickly?
I don't think they've announced anything. I don't think it did quite as well as they were hoping. So
it didn't.
Well,
Weird.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, shocker. But I think the problem a lot of people has was it was fun building it, but then once they got it built, they never really used it much. So
Yeah. Below's really good. It's on Game Pass, like we said, so if you sub to that, it's there. And definitely give it a shot. Do you have anything else for that, Doc?
like I said, I've not gotten super far. I think I've gotten like I said, I'm like you. I've only faced 2 different types of enemies, like the normal guys and the shield type guys. So I've not gotten very far.
Yep, same. All right. Next up, Chocolate. You still playing Hollow Knight? And are you still enjoying it? Are you frustrated? What's going on?
Definitely frustrated with it, but
Sounds
like
right.
yeah, the game is great. It's probably the best game I've picked up on the Switch. Bearing in mind I've only got 3 games.
And one of them's Zelda.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa.
Hang on, 4 games. 4 games.
So would your order be 1-2 Switch Zelda then this?
1-2 Switch would be number 1, of course. Game
Okay,
of the
I'm
year.
just making sure.
Hello.
Just making sure.
So how you play 1-2 Switch? There's a little yoga game. You put the controller down and then you walk away and never play it again.
I really,
Got him.
Me and my wife, we were on holiday this week, so that's where I got 1-2 Switch. We started playing. She enjoyed it, but I think the fun lasted all of 30 minutes.
Did she get to milk the cow?
She did get to milk the cow, and it does look absolutely ridiculous.
Nice.
Did she shake the Joy-Con back and forth to see how many marbles are inside it?
Do you know, you were going to say something else before you said Joy-Con, I swear.
I hate that these are all honest questions that pertain to this game.
Thanks, Nintendo.
Anyways, Chocolate, how's Hollow Knight?
Hollow Knight, great. I finally found out that you can go back and get your ghost and collect those geos that you dropped, because, man, farming those geos are a pain in the rear.
Yeah, wait till you have like 2,000 of them at some point, and then you die, and then you die again before you get back to them.
Oh, no.
Devastating. It's one of my worst times of the year this year in gaming, for sure.
It's the Dark Soul effect, yeah.
Well, I saw that one of the abilities is, I think, 1,800 geos, isn't it? So,
yep.
Yeah, that I'm going to cry and hate myself for doing it. But it's good. Great game. Love it. And then I've been doing the usual FIFA competitively this weekend, failing miserably. And
who's at the top of the table right now?
The league, I think we've had a little bit of a break there. I think everyone got a bit tetchy, so there's not many games being played. So Sweeney is hitting the stick and making sure we finish up our...
Is Sweeney the top of the table again? Is he the FIFA king?
He is at the moment, yeah, unfortunately.
I had faith in you, Chocolate.
Well, I've got to play him again, so hopefully I might beat him.
Better take that W.
Need to.
All right, what else? Oh boy, this is exciting news, and we should have started with this. Doc, how's Battlefield 5 going?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's I've given it the last chance I can give it. I'll probably revisit that game every now and then just to see stuff they add, but I'm done with it. They don't know what they're saying things are problems that are problems but are not the big problems. They're trying to fix stuff. They're going back on stuff they fixed. Stuff still doesn't work right that they've said they fixed. Like, it's a cluster, that game right now.
I have a coworker who the only thing he really plays is Battlefield, and he always gets super excited for them. And I've never seen someone so angry over breakfast this morning.
I mean, I'm the first one in the Discord that I'm like, I love this game more than anybody I know, and I'm almost done with it. Like,
did they change time to kill? That's what he seemed to be mad about.
Here's the thing about all that. You guys heard me last week. The problem is not that; it's the net code is terrible. The problem with Battlefield is you'll start getting hit. Well, not even that. You'll be walking around and you'll die from one bullet in one frame from a submachine gun that normally takes you 5-6 hits to kill somebody. What you're not seeing is that you probably got hit 5 or 6 times on their screen, but your game never told you that until the last frame when you died.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so normally you'd be like, okay, well, if I'd have known, obviously I would have tried to take cover, turn around, shoot, whatever. So the netcode's the problem. Well, then they're like, oh, okay, well, time to kill's too quick. Well, we'll slow that down. And everybody got upset about that, and I'm like, well, that's not the problem, but I'm not that upset about it because I don't know if I'll be able to tell that much of a difference. But then the community just went crazy when that happened, and they have now, after 3 days, rolled all that back. They basically were like, oh, we heard you loud and clear. Everybody, even the hardcore supporters you got guys on YouTube like Jack Frags, Westy, Flakfire, all these guys that have millions of subscribers that all they do is Battlefield stuff, and they're like, this is dog shit, basically, what you guys are doing. And so aside from all that, let's shelve all that stuff. The game still has a ton of bugs. You'll be you have these weekly events where you're trying to unlock stuff by revive 5 of your teammates, resupply this many people this many times, and half the time they don't track. So then you're doing weekly time stuff that isn't even tracking. So you're like, well, what the hell am I even doing here? And not only that, but even if I look past a lot of that stuff, but you go on server list, there is not a lot of people playing this game right now, and it came out a month ago. So it's hard to be optimistic at this point. It really, really is. And I haven't even talked about the fact that company coin is how you unlock stuff. Well, I got to level 50 relatively quick. And every time you level up, you get 1,000 company coin. When you hit level 50, you get nothing after that. All you can do is your daily assignments, which you can do up to 300 company coin a day. The problem with that is half the stuff to unlock all your specializations, all new guns, all outfits, and everything costs company coin, and they are not cheap. So you can max level that game and not have even like half the company coin you need to fully unlock stuff that you've should have unlocked by now. You just haven't unlocked with company coin.
You can probably buy company coin with real money then.
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best value.
But which I didn't even have a problem with the way they set that up initially. It's just that half the stuff doesn't track. It's saying at the end of a match, I should be getting this company coin because I've done this stuff. I go to company coin, it hasn't moved. Apparently that's a glitch that they've known about for a while now, and just like better luck next time, I guess, kind of thing. It's to the point where it's just all these things add up to the fact that it's like I have no confidence that, like, let's say 4 months from now they get it fixed. This has left such a bad taste in my mouth that I'm just like, I don't like. I love World War II. I love Battlefield games. This game is a no-brainer home run for me. It should be, and it's made me so mad that I just can't bother to play it now because I'll just get frustrated by something.
So the memes on our Battlefield on Reddit have been hilarious.
Oh yeah. Oh, that whole subreddit is on fire right now, and rightfully so. Like, you want to see like after the bombs drop scenario, go to r/Battlefield right now. It's the Wild West in there right now. It is.
Are you telling me that me waiting until March might be a good idea for this game?
Oh,
Definitely.
Yeah.
If it's still alive.
Yeah. It like seriously, anybody that owns the game, and if you're wondering how active it is, go to server list, and like I only filter Europe, UK, and US servers because if I'm playing, with any of my friends, they're either in the UK or US. There is hardly any servers up with any significant amount of people in them. You know, it's sad.
Whatever algorithm they use, I feel like it's too efficient. Like it won't allow for servers with 20, 30 people. Like all of the servers, there'll be 6 of them, and they're all 60 out of 64.
And you're in a queue or something. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm constantly in a queue.
I don't know, and I honestly think if they could somehow fix the netcode, I think that would really possibly bring me back in, and that might be the one thing to eventually get me back into it one day to playing regularly if they somehow fix the netcode. But Battlefield 4 launched broken. They eventually fixed it. I love that game. Battlefield 1 didn't launch great. A lot of people forget that it didn't launch real great, but they eventually fixed it too. But I feel like then it had far less bugs that affect every single game you're in those games. Like you would occasionally come across problems, but when you have a game that is set up on you're constantly getting progression through all these different unlocks, and half the time they're not unlocking, you're getting these bugs where your screen's locking up or sound is looping and you have to restart your game. It's just, I don't want to go on about this too long because I know it's depressing, but like, I'm one of the biggest fans of that series and that timeline for that game, and I don't want to play it anymore.
I'm going to be honest, Doc. I think this is all great news because I've played about 2 hours of Battlefield 5, and now I feel like it's okay that I only played 2 hours of Battlefield 5.
I own it on both platforms.
Oh, so you lose. You just lose.
Double loss.
I mean, if it didn't have, even if it just had a better netcode, I would say I'm still playing it. But like, they can't even get that right. And it's when you have the developers on Twitter being like, "Oh, well, the problem is the time to kill," and it's like, no, that's not the problem. The problem is I'm getting killed in one frame, but on that guy's screen, he shot me for like 3 seconds, and I didn't even know it. That's the problem. Like. And they can't even reconcile that that's the issue, and you have, they're going back and forth on fixes. It's a mess. But yeah, if you want some good laughs, go to r/Battlefield. There is some memes that are on point, hilarious. Let me tell you.
Sounds like a nightmare. I probably won't go there.
Yeah, it is. Anyways, that's it for me though. Yeah, probably. Hey, if you still want to play Battlefield with me, hey, I'll hop on anytime and play with friends. But I'm probably not going to be playing that on my own ever.
Fair enough. Well. On to a good game, Call of Duty. Maldo, you been playing some Black Ops 4?
Yeah, bouncing back and forth between the PlayStation and Xbox. It's Call of Duty. We love it. I like to shoot people in the face.
This is a good game for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not as good as you.
The netcode's good in this
Blackout.
game too. So
I guarantee it's better than Battlefield.
They're coming out with a new update that I'm really looking forward to
yeah, that starts. That should be out
tomorrow.
today.
I think the 18th today? Nope. Okay.
Today, when you're listening to this today.
You're right. The future, but now.
Time travel.
Yes.
I got up to. I'm at like 196 on that contraband tier. I have 4 more levels to go, and I have pretty much no time to play.
Where's the
Oh.
Meg? Where is she?
Working as a nurse, so she either works a really long day or is tired all the time. So I make sure I dedicate all the time that she's home to her, but it still leaves me with a lot of free time. And if I never have kids, it'll be like this forever, and I'm looking forward to that. So
It's a
I
good
can
plan.
just imagine Risky going, oh, come in, let me make you something to eat. Sit down, oh, there's a blanket. Shh.
yeah, take these pills. They'll make your
Oh,
headache
yeah, I
go
was about to
away.
say, he's like, oh, here's some tea. Oh, yeah, don't worry, I put Benadryl in it. Oh, you're asleep. Oh, look at that. Okay, game time.
Oh no, yeah, I'll come get you in a few hours.
Yeah. See you, bye.
Going down the hall.
But yeah, so I'm really close to that, and I'm also sadly to the point where I might turn on my Xbox right after this and just buy those last 3 tiers because I have some.
Oh, no.
Don't do it.
Yeah, they got-
Fight it.
Dude, I have so many hours in this game. I really don't mind spending a little extra, and I have so many stupid Call of Duty points from pre-ordering and all that stuff that I could spend them. I really, really need those last 3 skins, though. I think I don't even know what they are, but they're probably pretty
Okay,
cool.
wow.
So they're kind of going the Fortnite approach. They're
Seasonally, yeah, it seems like it.
but they're changing bits of the map. So they're adding a yacht from a previous multiplayer map.
Yeah, hijacked. It's pretty awesome.
And they're adding a new vehicle, which that looks awesome.
It's like a warthog.
Yes, with a machine gun on the back.
Yeah, I saw that it like breaks down over time, so you can't just be like driving around in circles in the last circle with a giant machine gun. So
Mowing everyone down.
exactly.
The truck
Wow.
is so big and it's so loud. You can hear the truck from the other side of the map.
That-
Like a truck
yep.
is coming.
That's why I love carrying rocket launchers.
Wow.
Yeah, that game's still.
I do
great.
think that is one of the better games to utilize the whole put specific parts of the map are unique to old game modes, because I played so much Call of Duty multiplayer back in the day. When you say the yacht level, like, I know what you're talking about. Like, it's that's the one game I feel like that works on a battle royale mode, to where they can go back and pick and choose. Even though like Nuketown, I felt on the map was kind of weird how that didn't resemble the actual map, but
There's a very small portion where the buses are.
It's a
on
it's a
Newtown.
very like edge.
and it is like 2 houses, like
Yeah.
you can actually
You have to find it, but once you do, you're like, oh shit, you're in Nuketown.
Yeah, so it's just like they couldn't just have 2 houses
Yeah,
be on
true,
an
not a
island.
big enough area.
So it's just
Yeah.
like the end of one of the streets is the actual Nuketown map. But yeah, I like that they're doing it this way. I like that it's not going to be like different maps and like splitting people up that way. Because like with PUBG, whenever I would be in a queue and Miramar would come up and I just had to like just walk around in the desert until a sniper got me. Like I got so annoyed of that map and I couldn't just pick Erangel, which was the original map. So I kind of like that they're just going to alter this one. I was hoping for some snow, but I think the season's up in like 52 days or something. I think that's how long the seasons are. So there's still plenty of time for snow. We'll see if they actually do
Well,
it. But
In the update, they're adding snowballs, holiday lighting and decorations, and holiday-themed supply stashes.
I'm glad you brought your patch notes.
You're going to get it. You asked. Do you play any of the multiplayer at all? Like, I feel like you don't even touch that.
No, I mean, the only time that ends up happening is if we have more than 4 people. Then we might play some until somebody gets bored, and then we have 4.
Well, That never happens for you because you just play offline.
Yeah, that's the best way to limit the amount of people in a party, for sure, is what I've come to
Yeah, that is a
realize.
surefire tactic too.
I'm just going to
yeah.
start sending you messages when I'm on. I know you're on.
I'm gonna be honest. That's how I get into a lot of parties that way, with people just sending me offline party invites, and it's like, oh yeah, hey, I am here. A lot of the time, I don't even realize when I'm on or off. I think it just is permanently off. I think it's broken. I can't turn it back on. Sorry, guys.
It happens when you're a big deal.
Yeah, you have no idea. No, I don't know. I've definitely slowed down as I got closer to 200 and realized that I should be playing other things. So, still loving it though.
No, I'd love to see your Xbox stats. Did you see the thing Moose posted on Discord?
Yeah, but that's only
Oh,
takes
man.
into consideration January to October. So
Oh, okay.
it was still in second place with like 100 hours. So if it also counted all of November and all of December,
Oops.
it's
I'm sure we could check with Moose and see what the updated numbers are.
yeah, they're probably higher than anyone cares to than I care to reveal to anyone.
Yeah. Moose,
I
when
can't
you hear this,
say anything. I
Tuesday
saw my-
morning, it'll be up. Don't
please
worry.
post.
You guys are the worst. Anyways, moving on from Call of Duty. Thronebreaker. I didn't know this was a thing until recently, Doc, so
I
you
didn't
can
either.
talk about it.
So you know how I was kind of confused. Like, okay, well I know Gwent's a thing. What is this? So they had talked about it a long time. Yeah, they're making a full-fledged campaign to go along with Gwent. Well, they basically broke those into two separate things. And Gwent is the free-to-play card multiplayer with some scenarios you can play and unlock stuff. It does have a lot of single-player stuff. It's just not a campaign. Whereas this is like a campaign. You're walking around on a world map and you're doing stuff. The way to think of Thronebreaker, though, is it's got a lot more puzzle-based stuff. And when I say puzzle-based, I mean it's still the Gwent card game, but you'll get in scenarios and it'll tell you this is like a puzzle-based battle, to where there is only really one way to win, and you have to figure out how to play what cards with what abilities in the right way to win the battle, basically.
Okay.
So it's a lot of that, and normally I would not be all for that because that doesn't sound exciting to me, but I watched some people playing it enough to where I'm like, okay, this actually seems kind of cool. It seems like it's got a good story, and I tried it out, and it's really good, actually. You unlock cards that can only be unlocked through that for the Gwent game as well. And I know I talked to you, Risky, how like we're not really about like the card games where you go online and play people who are just probably way too good.
Because we suck
at
at it.
Yeah, yeah. And this is one game where I might see myself putting in enough time that I might keep at it to where I can at least hold my own maybe against certain people. But yeah, the Thronebreaker though is good though. You don't play as Geralt though. You are not. He is hinted at so far where I've gotten about 3 hours in. He is hinted at as far as you needing to contract out a Witcher for something, but you actually play this queen who is actually presides over one of the regions is Rivia, which Geralt is called Geralt of Rivia. So like that, there's a lot of things
yeah.
hinting at that he's going to be involved somehow.
You can tell you're in the Witcher world.
Yeah, totally. And there's the necrophages. There's all the creatures that you fought in other Witcher games and things like that. So it is that world, that stuff. Like there's non-humans. You go in this town and these people are trying to riot and kill all the non-human like dwarves and elves. And there's all that stuff you've seen in previous Witcher games going on.
So what's the game like minus the card part? Is there actually like walking around or anything?
Yeah, so there is a world map. You have your queen character, which I feel bad I can't remember her name, but she is not somebody I'd heard of until I played this game.
So she's not that important.
No, and I've actually read all the novels, so I was like, okay, well maybe they're taking a different approach here, but she's the main character. You see her, she's walking around, and it's insinuated that you have an army with you with the camp and generals, and you can build up your army camp, which this all gets back to the Gwent portion, to where you build up your army camp, you can upgrade different things. You can either upgrade things to allow you to build cards, which you can craft cards. It's got all the makings of all the Hearthstone games like that, to where you can break down cards, you can craft cards, there's all that stuff going on. But there's also the aspect of you can build a scout tower, so when you're on the map, all these things you can loot will appear easier, or you can build up your army tin and you can now build cavalry units, or you build an archery range to build ballista units, which are, cards is all it's saying, your army has morale. Like, it's got a lot of stuff going on that makes it more than just a plane. You're walking around playing Gwent battles, that's that.
Is the game self-contained? Like, is there anything that you have to purchase? Like, can you buy card packs?
No,
or something
no.
like that?
Now, the Gwent free-to-play totally has that aspect to it. You don't have to.
I knew that did. I was just curious.
Yeah,
if...
this does not.
Okay,
this
cool.
This is a self-contained campaign that there is, as far as I can tell, there is no way to put any more money into this period.
And there's no type of multiplayer aspect?
I think that's all contained within the Gwent free-to-play
part.
version.
Okay.
I think. I'm 3 hours in, but nothing has surfaced so far that it even gives me that option. So It could actually. I think I might be telling you wrong. I think on the main screen it did have a couple different options to play, and one of them could have actually been like arena or something. But then again, that might just pop back open the Gwent game. I don't even know. Yeah, and like a single player campaign, you will be asked questions, and your answers will have consequences. And it actually seems like some things do affect stuff later on, to where you'll go in a village and it's like these people aided the opposing army. Do you spare him? Do you execute him? Do you beat him? Like, it'll give you options and stuff like that, like choices to make. So there's stuff like that as well. So it is a pretty fleshed out single player game as far as like a story goes. But then again, you have your Gwent battles, then you'll have your puzzle battles, stuff like that. But for $30, and again, I don't know how long the game is. I feel like I'm definitely getting my money's worth out of it. I'm having a good time playing it for sure.
And this is PC only right now, at least.
Xbox, PS4 and PC. I think it's everything. I don't think it's on Switch.
Everything but the Switch. The only way it shouldn't be. Yeah. It's messed up. Good. I'm glad that's good.
I'd love that game on the Switch.
What? I don't believe it.
Yeah, maybe eventually. Maybe it will eventually come to the Switch. It seems like it would not be a hard thing to put on the Switch. So,
yeah. All right. Doc, do you remember a game called Florence?
I saw that in the show notes, and it rung a bell, but honestly, I cannot remember what that is.
So it was one of the Indie Game of the Year nominees for the Game Awards. It's a cell phone game. So I downloaded it, and it's like a narrative game. I'd heard that it was super short. I didn't realize how short. The game was $2.99, which whatever, it's $3. But in 45 minutes, I was done with it, and I was it's taking every ounce of me not to say the F word. But what the hell? How the hell
did that get nominated?
Did this get like the type of acclaim that it's getting? I don't know.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I always thought you were going to be like, man, 45 minutes and my life has changed forever. But then it's like, oh no, it's just, what is this?
That's the thing, Doc. For some people, it seems like that's what this game is doing to people, and I don't understand it. It is just the story. It's the story of you're a 25-year-old girl. You're meeting a dude. It's like going through her day-to-day life, but you're doing these things with like weird little puzzly things that you would do on a phone game, like doing a little puzzle, or like if there's a painting, using your finger to like paint the painting, weird stuff like that. And then you just there's 20 chapters maybe, but they're all super quick, and it's like, oh, this is your day-to-day life, blah blah blah. Then you meet this guy.
Is anything meaningful happening during this? Like,
dude, this is literally just the story of a girl meeting a guy, breaking up with a guy, spoilers, and going on about her life. Those are the 4 parts of this game. And there's no text in this game as far as what they're saying to each other, and maybe to some people that's powerful. If you're getting emotional sliding puzzle pieces together in a puzzle box, you may have more issues than you think.
So maybe this is one of those like Oscar-nominated Best Picture that like the critics think they're way smarter than everybody else kind of thing.
This is like when you go to the art gallery and the people are standing in front of the painting where it looks like somebody took a handful of paint and just threw it at the canvas, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
You see a crocodile tear come in one woman's eye.
Dude,
Like
that's what this game is. And I mean, if I'm offending anyone, I'm honestly sorry, and I'm glad that you could take more out of this game than I could. But for $3, that's too much for this 45 minutes of my life.
I thought this game was supposed to be one of those emotional journeys like Faye, where it had some sort of big symbolism, pushing through depression or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that not what it is?
If you can find that, I mean, yes, she's obviously upset after this breakup happens, but like, if this part of this, you decide you're going to move in together. Okay, good. The relationship's going great. Let's move in together. So what you need to do is you need to remove pieces of her stuff in the house. Like there's a shelf. You have to slide some of her stuff out of the way to make room for the new guy who's moving in. You have to put his stuff up there. When they break up, you have to take that stuff back and put it into boxes.
Oh no!
Oh,
if that doesn't tug at your heartstrings.
And after all that time you did moving it around to begin with,
I had such a hard time figuring out if I should keep my coffee pot or her coffee pot, because that was a decision you have to make in this game.
And were they both generic looking?
No, I mean they were one. I think one was a French press, and one kind of looked like a traditional coffee maker. So
You
obviously,
should always go with the French
oh
press.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
probably,
lady,
it's probably worth more anyways.
that's a piece of garbage. It's going in the trash. So it was sad when I took my French press when we broke up, because now you don't have any coffee. So go to Starbucks.
Yeah, and then, hey, salt in the wound, sell it on eBay, show them how much you made on it, be like, I didn't even want it, but I kept it, and I sold it. I didn't even need it.
If I could have been more passive-aggressive in this game, I would have been. Not a lot of options there for that.
Risky, it's like at the end of the game, submit feedback to developer, WTF, question mark.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't understand it. If there was not one more indie game that came out this year that couldn't have filled that nomination spot, then apparently it was not a very good year in indie games.
I remember now how I heard about this game, and it totally makes sense. I like Austin Walker a lot. He was on the Beastcast. I think he's a good guy. I think he gets a little bit kind of into his own.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like he thinks like he just appreciates stuff that you can't possibly appreciate sometimes, kind of mode a little bit. And he really talked up this game, and I love the guy. I think his opinions are very valid. It's just it makes sense that he might have talked this game up as a big deal, and it turned out like this.
So do you think the game's meant to then obviously tug at your heartstrings, but kind of make you recall and recollect a bad breakup?
I think it does. It shows what a breakup would be or has been. Like, yeah, it's relatable.
Yeah.
Sure. But it's 45 minutes of doing puzzles, and like you can't tell that deep of an emotional journey between two people in 45 minutes, especially on a cell phone, especially with no dialogue. I don't know.
I mean, it does sound like it's trying to gain like cheap emotional heartstrings by just being like, hey, you put all this time into this little puzzle of this thing that has to do with this thing, and now it's all undone for nothing. Like, seems like it's just trying to make like cheap kind of emotional tugs at that stuff.
A bit too arty-farty for me, I think.
Yeah, and like I'd love to be like, yeah, one of you guys should check it out, but I don't know. I really can't. I can't.
Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
If you can maybe watch a YouTube video. No, I wouldn't do that either. I don't know. Just Florence, not for me.
Just to give it a thumbs down.
I'm rarely negative about video games in general, but just the hype for this, or it's just that it got a nomination for best indie game of the year.
It didn't win though,
no,
right?
It didn't.
I'm thinking correct.
No.
Okay.
Celeste won, which Celeste was a
Damn good game.
platformer that managed to tell you things about psychosis or whatever. What was wrong with Celeste? She had some weird type of split personality disorder or something.
No, I thought that one was about depression and overcoming.
It probably
all of
is.
these things. Sure, it was some type of emotional disorder.
Well,
and
you also look at games like Hellblade, which is like dealing with like schizophrenia and stuff. Like I feel like that probably does a way better job at
Cannot compare Hellblade and Celeste.
Well, no, I'm not, but it's the same thing as Hellblade is trying to tell a story of a girl that she is seeing demons and stuff and voices in her head, but it's meant to basically bring up the subject of schizophrenia and mental health, though.
I would compare Senua's Sacrifice more to Florence. I think they're a lot closer. They're not.
Sorry about that.
He agrees.
I'll say that wasn't my dog.
There's
for
the dog
once.
saying, "It's time on that conversation. Move on."
Yes, I honestly did spend way too much there, but I thought I had to tell you guys, so I did. Let's go back to Maldo. You playing some Destiny 2? Who's still playing Destiny 2? I'll let you talk about it. I'm going to give you about 45
seconds.
seconds.
A game. That's right.
Me by myself, trying to balance both platforms because I have two small handfuls of friends, one playing on PlayStation, one playing on Xbox, and I am super slow at both of them.
All right.
I started around 340 something, and now I'm up to 500 power level on both, and the grind just completely slows down at 500. Now it's in the mid 60s, I think you can get, or 650 something is the highest. It is a lot. But there's a ton to do if you like grinding now in Destiny.
I was gonna say, didn't they just release the Black Armory DLC? I think.
Yes, Season 5 came out. They added new raid, new exotics, a whole bunch of new things like that.
Season 5.
But there's a lot to do.
There's seasons in this game.
There's seasons.
I've been out of Destiny a long time. 5 seasons worth.
There's a lot going on. If you want to get back into it, it is still a solid shooter. I mean, the shooting mechanics of Destiny have never been bad.
No, I agree.
But now there's just a bunch to do.
It sounds like, honestly, it's back to where it used to be, like with Destiny 1, with how grindy it was and how random it was with the drop. Because aren't random rolls back as well for guns?
Yes.
Yeah, so, like, it's everything that everybody loved from Destiny 1. Trying to get the perfect roll and then just grinding for hours and hours. So hopefully they don't go too far.
Yeah.
There's a happy medium
It's a good
somewhere.
game now. It needs to stay consistent.
Guys, it's okay. They'll fix it in Destiny 3. It'll be fine.
Yeah, because there'll
No,
be Battle Royale. We've talked about this.
It's going to start again. It'll release crappy. And that'll be a great game in about a year.
Yeah, that's another game. Not enough time. It's the ongoing theme of video games.
It is.
But
It is hard.
I would love to
invest as
play
much
some more of
time as
that.
those require.
But knowing how far behind I am at this point and knowing how big of a grind it is, yeah, I don't know.
Don't do it.
I won't. All right, Doc. Any of these you want to talk about? Subnautica, maybe? Ashen? Sea of Thieves? Anything?
Ashton already talked about. Man, Sea of Thieves. I had a 5-hour play session of it last night.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
You were up late, weren't you?
And I ended up streaming it all, but I got into basically the entire server I was in got into an alliance, and I've got this group of people, just randos that I've been playing with the past couple of weeks that are super, not in a bad way, but they are try-harders in the sense that, like, if I want to get on and get stuff done, this is the crew I'm rolling with. You know, it's like everybody knows what they're doing. We're getting stuff done. We lucked out because we got into an alliance that turns out was the entire server. So everybody was in the alliance. The reason that ended up working out really well for me is because it was the entire server, I was getting a portion of anything anybody turned in ever in that entire server, which was like Athena chest, like all this super rare stuff. I started the play session last night at 20,000 gold. I ended at 180,000
Good
gold.
goddamn.
Damn.
Well, when I was watching you, Doc,
yeah.
all I saw in the top right or top left was just the constant coins dropping and dropping and dropping, and you were just standing. I think you were swimming in the sea at one point.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but again, to speak to how fun that game is now, we killed 2 different megs. One was like one that was kind of more rare to the Sea of Plenty side of the map, and another one was a red one that was like a aggressive hunter type meg. We got like really good loot from them. We killed a Kraken, which is way harder to kill now. That thing is a no joke boss fight now. We did a skeleton ship raid, got a bunch of loot out of that. We were in again, Sea of Thieves moment. We were in fog, and you can get in fog in that game that is super super thick to where you can't see 5 feet in front of your boat. And we were flying through the map, and the guy that was driving, he was pretty good at navigation. He kind of knew where he was anyways just by, like, big rocks in the world and stuff. And we happened upon this island, and we literally just, like, crashed into the shore, anchored and everything, and there was a boat on the other side. And just by happenstance, we just started PvPing with this boat, and we just wrecked them. And, you know, got all their loot, everything. We ended up being in alliance with them later and, like, started talking to the guys, being like, yeah, sorry about that, guys. And they're like, yeah, you guys came out of nowhere in that fog and just murdered us. And I'm like, yeah, it was kind of crazy.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, that game is a blast, though. It is, can't recommend enough if you're thinking about getting back in. It's a good time because there's so much to do. It's so fun. And they just keep building on that game. It's in a good place right now for sure.
So if you have a server-wide alliance, pretty much, that just eliminates all PvP. Doesn't that take away from some of the fun?
Well, theoretically, you could still just turn on anybody, though, if you wanted to.
Oh, does being in a quote-unquote alliance that doesn't, like, lock you into a non-hostile state or something?
It doesn't. No. You can still damage them. It's just you are locked into sharing rewards. So theoretically, if somebody's killing you in alliance, you wouldn't want to share rewards, so you would get out of the alliance with them, is how the thinking is, you know.
So
Can someone boot them out? Like,
yes.
This guy's being a jerk. Yeah.
Any individual ship can leave the alliance, and then reform with whoever they want to. Anything like that.
do you lose a
basically.
cut of the gold that
If you're not in the alliance, if it's not been cashed in yet,
you won't earn
get a
any
cut.
of it? Okay.
If it's been cashed in, it's yours though. It's done
Right.
at that point.
Okay. So I mean, that's a good system then.
Yeah. Which we at one point we had a ton of rum bottles we were transporting, and that's when the Kraken fight happened. And if you like, the rum bottles work by, you don't want any explosions near them, you don't want any sudden movements, you don't want to pick them up and drop them more than you have to because they crack and they lose value. Well, we had like 15 stacks of rum bottles below deck, and then a Kraken fight happens, and you go down below deck, and all you see is spilled rum and broken bottles everywhere, and we're like, shit.
So much
But-
time wasted.
Yeah, but it's fun though. I had a blast last night, and I'll definitely be playing that more, especially because I'm kind of out on Battlefield 5. So
So is this our new multiplayer game, Doug?
for me, for sure, yeah, sure, yeah. Like I said, if anybody still wants to play Battlefield 5, I'll definitely play it. Like I think it's a good game, but I just don't have the motivation to put any more time into it though, other than I have to.
So-
Is the Kraken more than just tentacles at this point?
No. Well, I mean, the water's black ink. The whole thing is like, oh, it's a giant beast underwater. Is there anything physically there, polygon wise? No, it's just the tentacles. But you don't see that, you don't know that. Frankly, what's it matter at that point? Yeah,
Maldo, why do you
but-
care so much?
Body
no,
or
I'm just
death?
saying. If you could go underwater and see it, and all you saw was tentacles coming up from like the floor, like that'd be one thing. But you can't.
Well, that was a big
know.
fuss when it first came out. Oh, the Kraken's just tentacles.
I think that's just the internet just looking for stuff to complain about.
What? The internet? It doesn't
They
do
don't do
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Still haven't. The only thing last thing I'll say about that is I still haven't come across the white megalodon, the one that only appears in the fog, supposedly. That's the only thing I still haven't, because apparently it's super rare. So yeah, haven't fought one of those.
Well,
yet.
all right, this will be week 3 of me saying I will get back into Sea of Thieves this week.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want to talk about, which I somehow wrote this in the show notes last week and then didn't talk about it, but I rented Just Cause 4 over the weekend. So
Oh.
I had a couple days to do it. If you played Just Cause 3, you're right at home in this game, and that's not a bad thing at all. There's definitely additions, but you start the game right off with your wingsuit, your parachute, your grapples, tethers, literally everything. Plus, like they have like Fultons from Metal Gear, like weather balloons essentially
Oh yeah.
that you can attach to anything, like
To people?
Oh yeah.
And one of the things that you can upgrade on the Fulton is the height that they go. So you can have 10. I mean, mine's only like halfway there, but it's still high enough to drop a human and kill them.
The thing that matters.
So I'm barely using guns in this game because I just attach these Fultons to all the bad guys. They fly up, and then you can just pop all the balloons with like down on the D-pad. It just destroys all the Fultons you have out. So there'll just be like 10 people hanging up in the air, and then you click that button a few times, and all the balloons pop, and you just hear all these people screaming as they fall to their death.
Sounds horrific.
Yeah, it's real messed up, but it's real fun
It's
to
actually
do.
pretty great.
That's amazing.
It's so fun. And then they also have these they're like little jet engines that you can stick onto things like people. So you can throw a jet engine on a person and then activate it, and it'll be like they had a jetpack and then you shot it and it exploded and sent them flying like a balloon that you just let the air out of. Kind of, if that makes sense. If I'm putting a good picture in your head. So there's just a little man flying around. What is cool, though, is you can take vehicles, and if you attach a Fulton at each corner of it, and then put one of the rockets on the back of it, hop up on that, you can hit the rocket, and then you've made, like, a blimp out of whatever.
That sounds awesome.
Like, the amount of things you can do in this game, because there's not really any type of restriction between the tethers, the grapples, like, the balloons, all that stuff. So taking down like bases, you can do them so creatively, and I don't know, the game's just a ton of fun. Just Cause 3, it might not be like the best game ever, but is honestly probably some of the most fun I've ever had in games. Just the tools at your disposal to take things down. It's so good. And Just Cause 4 is just more of that. I didn't get far enough into the game where because you know, like weather and like the tornadoes and stuff, that was supposed to be a big part of the game. I haven't gotten to any of that yet, and I probably won't until I can rent it again when I have some time. But this is the type of game that I see going on sale. Like, I don't know how it's not already 50% off, even though it just came out at the beginning of this month. But if that game goes on sale for like $29.99, I would definitely recommend it if you enjoy video games and fun, because it's got a lot of a lot of fun.
Does it run better than 3? Because 3 was awesome, and then all these crazy explosions would start going off, or you're getting these big firefights, and then everything would just start chugging.
Yeah, there's some. I noticed a few frame drops. Definitely not like 3. It's come a long way since then. It also isn't the best looking game, but I don't know if that's because of the quality of games we've had this year. But yeah, it's definitely not the best looking game I've played this year. But definitely running better than 3 for sure, though.
Does it have multiplayer at all?
Not co-op at least. I'm not sure that 3 did.
Okay.
In any.
I don't know if it did or not. I just always wondered about that as far as that game goes. I feel like that would be
perfect co-op
a cool
game.
thing. If they ever added that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome. But yeah, Just Cause 4. It's just more Just Cause 3, and that is a good thing.
Nice.
All right. Last up, Maldo, give us an update on Red Dead. If you're, nope, wife just got home.
So
My bad.
you did not read
I have the show notes
the
up.
thing that said
Sorry.
Red Dead is still great. I'm chugging along through the single player. The online was okay. It seemed a little barren. It was kind of empty. When I played, the economy was all sorts of crazy, so I didn't get too deep into it. Every time I log in, I feel like they're giving me more gold bars to try and like manually inflate
It's
it.
already back to GTA now.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's only I have no idea what the cost between bars to actual money is, but I don't intend to drop a dime on it.
Nope.
So
I think
I
the
think Doc and I are probably there with you.
the real question is if they're gonna have they said if they're gonna do a reset before it, when it's out of theoretical beta or whatever they're calling it.
no, I don't think they're going to do a reset at all
Okay,
as far as
okay.
economy wise.
I don't think they would either. When you give people this long of a beta and they've put X amount of hours into
I wouldn't
it,
imagine,
I would
yeah.
be so mad.
I mean,
if
is
they
it
got
really
rid
a
of
beta
everything.
though? Is it?
No.
No, I mean
it's a Fortnite beta.
yeah.
It might always say beta.
Fortnite is still in beta, right? When you load it up, I
And
think
being
it is.
sold on store shelves. Yep.
Some people
And
don't
they're
even,
in like season 7 of it, so
they don't know there's a whole other side of Fortnite.
No, that's where they got their free V-Bucks, wasn't it? Playing, was it Save the World?
So but
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
that horde based.
back to Red Dead.
yep.
It's slowly. I'm getting toward the end of chapter 3, and I can see the build. I did get some spoilers about certain things.
Oh, no.
I know.
That sucks.
And well, I did to myself. I mean, the podcast
enough.
said spoilers were coming, and I have a long
And I
commute, so I was like,
Continue to listen.
I'm just gonna keep listening. And now I notice certain things, and I'm like, oh no.
I know what's about to
No.
happen. Foreshadowing at
Yeah.
an all-time high.
But it's good. It's slow, and I feel like I have ADHD sometimes. So I can only play it for 2-3 hours at most at a time before I have to play Call of Duty.
Yeah. Are you feeling like it's a chore yet?
No.
Like where you're forcing yourself to get through this game? Because I think I'm getting there, and I don't love it. I don't love that I'm getting there, because when I actually sit down and do put hours into it, focusing on the story, it's amazing. But I just don't have the willpower, it seems, lately
Everyone-
to get back into it.
Everyone who has played the game to the end, to completion,
Knows what that's like, sure.
loves it and says how amazing the end is and how great it is, and
Fine, I'll beat it.
it's gonna be worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
But I feel you. I definitely understand what you're going through.
And that's why, I talked about it last week, where I just had to, stop doing a lot of the minor stuff that just has no impact on the main part of the game or, the main story. So hopefully that'll help me get through it here. But I didn't play any this week. So,
Where are you in it?
I think I'm honestly probably right where you are. I just became, I don't really want to spoil anything. I'm in chapter 3.
Did you moved camps and now
I'm in Rhodes. I'm doing,
Okay.
I'm a being a good man in Rhodes.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
That's about how far I've got. Yeah.
I'm
We're
still
get-
only chapter 1. I can't. The horse riding.
Damn it!
Still in the tutorial.
It's the horse.
I'm still on
it's-
this snowy mountain, guys.
Oh no, I'm out of there. So I'm chapter 2. But it's the horse riding. I can't.
You got to have your Switch, or you got to have a phone ready, or something.
Yeah.
all I do is I hit the theatrical or the cinematic mode. I hold X in my left hand, and then I play on my phone for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Well, the
that's
problem
where
is if
I'm
you
at.
have a dumb horse like Risky's, he'll just run into a tree, though.
No.
Yep, that did happen.
No, so part of one of the updates they addressed a little bit of that, but if it's in cinematic mode, it follows the trail. So as long as
You
you stay
wanna
on the
bet?
roads.
I'll send you a
Risky's
video,
like, I've got
sir.
a clip saying otherwise.
Well, I can't help you bought the stupid horse.
No, I traded him in for a new one. I turned him into horse meat.
He's
Glue.
no. Yeah,
I
he's glue
named-
by now.
Sent him off to
Yeah,
Elmer.
I named my horse my wife. Its horse's name is
Huh.
Ashley.
I don't. Is that
Oh.
a good thing or a bad thing?
Good for me.
This got really sentimental.
Because you can ride.
No,
all
don't
right.
do it.
Oh, no.
Sorry, guys.
No.
Come on.
See, I was
Alright.
thinking it, and I stood away from it big
Quick
time.
hits. No, because I get
Chocolate's
to
like,
bond.
that's a bridge too far for me.
I get to bond and grow.
Oh.
You make me want to
Wait,
throw
wait.
up, so we're gonna stop
Bond
talking
in
about
what?
Red Dead. I think he said bondage. We should leave this conversation.
Quick hits.
All right, and with that, let's get into some news. All right, Doc, what's in the news this week?
All right. You guys played Monster Hunter World, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pretty.
Nope.
No, okay.
A minute.
you-
All right, so me and you did, Doc.
Okay. All right. I enjoyed it quite a bit. You Risky? Did you?
Yeah. No, it was good. I just didn't put a lot of time into it.
Yeah. I just finished. Actually, I don't know if I got the campaign completely finished as far as the story part, but I got really far into it. So they are introducing some new free DLCs, some more significant than others. The first of which, we had talked about it not long ago on the Thronebreaker game. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt collaboration is coming to Monster Hunter World early 2019, and it appears now. This is just a trailer. I could not find any more hard information as far as who you were playing as, or was it skins, or what's going on here. But the trailer makes it appear that you are playing as Geralt of Rivia, and he is coming through a portal to this world, and he's like, it's the same voice actor from Witcher 3. He's like, oh yeah, I hunt monsters. This is right up my alley. Blah blah blah. Which it does seem like a good fit as far as that goes. So, not much more said about that. The trailer looks really cool. It seems like there is a lot to do with as far as the voice acting and some of the story bits with
What
him.
a slut.
Well, I mean,
Wasn't he also in some? Wasn't he in
Soul
Soul Calibur?
Calibur. Yeah,
It's all over.
he's just prostituting
Jeez.
himself out left and right. So,
Good-looking guy.
Um,
Makes sense.
yeah, I mean, they got Henry Cavill to play him in Netflix, so he's about to
Which
get a
I
whole
don't
lot
agree
better
with, but
looking.
yes.
Okay, well, or not. Anyways, actually, did you guys see the picture of him dressed
Yes.
as Geralt?
I didn't
How
like
did-
it.
How did you feel about that, Maldo? I was about to ask. I didn't like it either.
It felt
Yeah.
wrong.
I hated it.
It looked. Did it not look weird?
Yeah.
like-
It looks so weird, dude.
Yeah. I'm like, that's Superman, and you just gave him a white beard and white wig. Okay.
Why is Superman here?
And that's the hair looks so bad on him.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I don't know. Anyways, back to this. So that is coming early 2019. The trailer's out there. It's worth having a look at. And the second bit of info is that they are making what they phrase as a massive expansion coming in. They just say coming in 2019. It's called Iceborne, and from the trailer, it looks like a new snow-covered region, a completely new area of the world with apparently new creatures, things like that. And this is all free. So, it's definitely. I've already started re-downloading this. I'm probably going to get back into it and try to pick up where I left off. But it looks like there's a lot more reasons to get back into Monster Hunter now. So.
The snow map we've all been waiting for.
Yep, you can see the footprints of the creatures, and you follow them, and they have a scar. Wait, hold on.
No, it's PUBG.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
It's okay.
same. Anyway, so that's coming out 2019, and I think that game was recently on sale. I think in game deals with gold for like $29 or $25. I want to say.
Worth it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally worth it. There's plenty of game there for that amount of money for sure. Moving on, Stardew Valley has just recently received its multiplayer update for Switch, so that is live now. If you own that game, you can play with up to 3 other players. the way in which you will get them into your game is you have to build a cabin on your farm. You can build up to 3, and they're 100 gold each. And then I think that's the only requirement. And if you're friends with somebody on Nintendo Switch, and when submit that big long number code, and you're friends with them, they can enter your game from the main menu in Stardew Valley. So
Tegrity Farms is looking for some indentured servants for any of you guys who are interested helping
man,
this guy out.
You just got right down to brass tacks on what you were
Yeah.
offering there.
Dang. What's the weekly wage?
No pay. You get to
All
live in my
right.
little
Weekly
hut.
wage, you
I'm in.
assume.
I don't think
please.
you know how that works.
Nope. I did actually hop into this when it came out, and I was just going to start a fresh game for the Meg and I, but I just couldn't do it.
Well, now I
That's
thought
that.
it was only online. Like it's not
Maybe
local
that's why I
co-op.
couldn't do it.
So, I read more into this on the wiki for the multiplayer aspects, and it seems like you can do local.
From what I didn't actually start the farm up, but from what it appeared that wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah. Now, what I thought was kind of cool with some other things I read about this was that you can do what's called a profit margin on the stuff you sell, and I guess the only reason you would do this is because if you think about it from a practical standpoint, if you change nothing about the game and you had 3 people that could simultaneously be working on your farm at the same time, all
Make
doing
so
different
much money.
things, exactly, yeah, you would just break the game at that point. So they allow you to put in profit margins so you can at least make the game, I guess, a game at that point,
Yeah.
to where you're not just steamrolling it.
So it wouldn't be so easy.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's kind of cool they allow you to do that.
Risky, weren't you super into Stardew Valley for a while?
Yeah, and that was the reason that I was like, this will be sweet when I can do it multiplayer. But that's a time sink game that I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't touch until at least the year is over. So I'll be back eventually.
I
'Cause
would-
That's a good, especially if it's couch co-op. Like I think it is. Like that's a good
Yeah.
significant other game, in my opinion. So
I would argue that
I'll be
is-
there eventually.
I would argue that is the best Switch version of any type of Switch game that you could have is that game. I think that game was made for the Switch, in my opinion.
Yep. What isn't though? You know.
Fair.
Don't make me buy
Wolfenstein
it.
2.
Don't make me buy it.
No, apparently Ark. No, did you guys need to look up Digital Foundry's video on Ark on the Switch? That game was not made for the Switch. I can tell you that much. That
I
game.
still need to check out Warframe. I want to see how that ran.
Ark
That's
on the.
surprisingly good.
Yeah, it looks like it holds up okay, actually.
That's good. I pictured that being a mess, but good.
They were
Well,
talking
that is
about
good.
how Arc drops down to below 280 pixels for a lot of the time in handheld. At no
aren't they
less
coming out with
than
a new game?
15 frames per second. So you just have fun with Arc on the Switch. It's a good get.
Chocolate,
Okay.
that's one you don't need to get. Stardew Valley, though, I will say, if you have not played it,
Oh,
that
hell
is
yeah.
the best way to play it. And that game is great.
God, that game's so good.
Know what you're getting yourself into, though, because it
did you
might
ever
not
play-
be great for you.
Yeah, did you ever play in the old Harvest Moon games, Chocolate?
No.
Okay.
I've watched a load of streams of Stardew, and I think I would like it, but
Do it. Do it!
I've just bought Football Manager, and that's
Oh,
going to be my
yeah,
life.
well, there's your first problem. You just click into it, hit uninstall, and you never go back there again.
There you go. Problem
Isn't that
solved.
like all the worst parts of FIFA, just in its own separate game?
It's a tiny bit, yeah.
Chocolate likes to punish himself, okay, Risky? So.
Masochist.
It took me 2 hours to find out how to buy a player. It's not good.
Oh, shit.
I would say
Yeah.
it's not good for you.
That's one of the
but-
major jobs of a manager, isn't it?
It is indeed. The control scheme is whacked.
You're just telling me a lot of negatives here. So
Don't buy it.
It's
I leave you a
Football
lot
Manager,
of
though.
positives about
Ask for a
starting.
refund.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over well with Nintendo of America.
Excuse
Hit
me,
up our
Or
Reggie.
Nintendo, yeah.
This game is terrible.
Give me back my money.
Chocolate knew exactly what he was getting himself into when he bought this game. Don't let him lie to you.
I can fluff it. I can fluff it. Anyway, quick hits.
All right.
Quick hits.
Quick hits. We talked about before Sony backing out of E3, not having anything offside or anything around the time of E3. So, of course, people on Twitter was like, hey, Reggie, what do you guys think about E3? And basically, Reggie said that Nintendo is still attending E3 and that it's a no-brainer. In a quote, this is per Reggie, E3 for those 5 days is the opportunity for the world to find out what's new for video games and as an entertainment. And during this time, we generate more engagement than whether it's CES, Comic-Con, or any other big entertainment event. Yeah, Nintendo thinks that it's super important, apparently.
All right. So, kind of non-news, but
Well,
good. I'm glad they're going to be there.
I think it was one of those things to where, like, everybody when Sony was pulling out said, like, oh, are they even going to have an E3 in 2 or 3 years? Or, like, what is E3 even more if one of the big people are pulling out? And at least Nintendo, which they've approached E3 very differently for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now.
Chocolate, every time the doctor said pulling out right there, were you snickering to yourself?
Maybe.
Quick hits.
Yeah, quick hits.
Just don't pull out.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. Edit that one out.
I love how you said
Remember-
it in a way, in such a pause to where it cannot be insinuated any other way.
119.
119. Quick hits.
Quick hits, pull out.
All right. Next little bit, we're going to be talking about Epic Store and kind of things around that. Have any of you guys downloaded the Epic Store launcher for PC yet?
They do have the best name for a launcher, the Epic Games launcher.
Yeah, they got that going for them for sure.
I don't play on PC, so no.
Yeah.
What's a PC?
Well, we'll get to it later, but it might be worth downloading if you don't play on PC because it's actually already started. You will get a free game every 2 weeks for the entirety of 2019 if you have that launcher.
Huh.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
I wonder if I can download that on my government computer.
Yep.
Probably. Anyways, first we're going to talk about, though, is Epic has gotten out and said that they are making cross-platform a big deal, basically. They have come out and said that they have a roadmap for quarter 3 to 4 of next year, and I'm not going to list everything they've talked about, but essentially they are going to front everything it takes to have cross-platform, whether it's parties, trophies, servers, anything you could think of, matchmaking. They will front all of that to where the developers have to do, from the way I understand it, nothing. They just have to agree to use their services. One would think that this would make cross-play more prevalent, if you have like a major publisher out there being like, we will take care of all the work. I don't know. Do you guys see this moving the ball on that area much at all moving forward?
This is pushing what we want as gamers, isn't it? To game on every device.
Yeah. It definitely gives less of an excuse for somebody to be like, I guess before you could be like, oh, well, we don't have the infrastructure or we don't have our own, up until now, like Rocket League or whatever it is, had to have their own account-based system.
Yeah.
Whereas they're saying, we'll take care of all that for you.
If any company could do that, it would be Epic. I mean, Fortnite is so huge and it's everywhere, and they've already pushed even Sony to allow it. If anyone's going to do it, it's probably going to be them.
Yeah, they pretty much bullied Sony into doing that, I feel like, at this point, and I think it's great, though. But yeah, we said it all the time before then, like if Fortnite can't do it, nobody can. Well, it turns out they did it. So, yeah, maybe they can just strong-arm everybody else into being like, hey, do you want a part of this cash train? You need to get in with our services. So, I don't know. We'll see. But back to what I was saying about the free game, and it's worth downloading the launcher starting. This is started on December 14th, so this is live right now. If you download the launcher right now, the free game for the next 2 weeks is Subnautica, which is a really good game.
That makes sense why you're pushing us to download this launcher.
Well, I mean, a free game every 2 weeks. Like, I don't know if I have to
that's
really,
awesome.
I don't know if I have to sell anybody on it, but like,
You said for a year too, like
for
what?
a year, for the entirety of
that's-
2019. They are really going hard at getting this to take on Steam and other services, basically.
Hopefully, they just get a lot of people like me who just log into it to get those free games, and then
That'll be
That's it.
me. Yeah.
yep, why not?
But then you have to think, like, at the end of 2019, when you have a Steam log page of all these games you own now, maybe you will be more likely to use that launcher. So,
Yeah,
You know.
no, that's
not a terrible idea from
Yeah.
their standpoint.
agreed.
So moving on, connected to the Epic store that they've launched, Discord has come out. We use Discord all the time. I'm sure you guys have seen it when you pull it up on PC, but they have their own store. Have you guys ever actually bothered to look at that much?
I saw that Bad North game was on, I think it was like first on Discord or something.
Yeah.
And that made me want to take a look at it, but then I was just like, no, this is kind of weird because it's Discord, and I don't. Is that where I want to be playing my video games? I don't know.
Risky, do you have a computer capable of playing video games?
I think so. My laptop has an i7 and a 960 in it, so
Yeah.
it can.
Oh
it can
yeah,
do
you
most
definitely
things.
do then. Yeah.
Yeah. You. Not me.
I just don't do it. It's more, I don't know. It's a choice thing. The only thing I really played was Realm Royale because that wasn't anywhere else at the time. So no, I don't play a lot on it.
Oh, I thought Maldo was going somewhere else. That okay. Okay, so Discord has a store. Everybody has a store nowadays. But the big news with this is that Discord got out. Last week Epic come out and said, hey, we've got this really aggressive split of the revenue. Epic was saying last week before the Game Awards that their split was 88-12, meaning they would keep 12%, the dev would have 88% of the split, which is relevant because Steam, up until recently, had a 70-30 split, basically meaning they kept 30%, the devs kept 70%. Steam has recently updated their policy to where they have this weird tiered system to where if you make over $10 million, it goes to 75-25. If you make over $50 million, it goes to 20-80, which I don't see how that really helps out like small indie games.
Nope.
Anyways, that's their counter to the Epic Store. But then Discord got out and was like, oh yeah, well my dad can beat up your dad, and I'm making it a 90-10 split.
Oh boy, how dev friendly.
I hope it gets to the point where it's like, oh yeah, 99-1. Take
oh
that.
Yeah, we're paying the devs $100 for every game they sell. What? Wait, what?
Well, when large companies like this are competing, it's only benefiting us. So I'm all for this.
Totally. The devs more, probably more games are going to get made now, and hopefully, a lot.
But looking at these number splits, what I see is the big boys are all going to go to Steam because they're going to make over 50 million, and all the little guys are going to go to Discord.
Well,
that's all that looks to me.
Discord, regardless, will have the best deal, them and Epic. But I think you're partially right, though, because I think what it says to me is that if you're an indie, you're less incentivized to go to Steam, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Other than it's just the big main, it's the showrunner right now. It is by, if you look at them versus anybody else, they're probably, 95% of the market right now is a storefront.
Well, yeah, then you'll have that Netflix, Amazon kind of spin as well. It'll be Discord exclusive or Steam exclusive.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think that's definitely the route we're going down, and I think Epic already did. At the Game Awards, what was that? What was the roguelike game where you're the son of Hades?
I think it's called Hades.
Yeah.
Is it Hades? Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry. Aptly named. Okay. That's a Epic Store exclusive right now. It's only on the Epic Store. So I think that could be if you want to be cynical about all these stores, that's the way to look at this, is that you're going to have all these scenarios of, well, it's on the Discord store for the first month, then it's coming to everything, or it's on Steam for 2 weeks, or, Epic's got the preview program version, or, it could get really messy, and then that's also the issue of, do you want to have 5 different launchers on your computer running at one time?
But I mean,
yes.
How much does that really play into effect? Because with console exclusives, you have to have a whole nother piece of plastic.
True.
On PC, you're just opening a different window.
I'm just saying that as a devil's advocate. I don't personally have an issue with any of this, to be honest. I mean, but if you're gonna, I'm just picturing right now like what the subreddit topic would be, and it'd be like, I don't want to have to blah 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 open up 5 storefronts,
Real tough.
blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Keyboard warrior.
It's like Epic Store's giving you a free game every 2 weeks. Like, shut the hell up. Who cares? Like,
Get him, Doc.
it's just first world problems. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It could get messy like that, and it's like you were saying, Chocolate. I think if eventually maybe this means that either Steam is going to have to change their split, or indies maybe once Epic starts getting a bigger
Yeah.
share of the market, maybe that's where all the indies go, or the big name indies.
Well, yeah, as Maldo said, this is only going to benefit us because then the little boy is going to take on the big boy, and the discount's going to change again, and the kind of the ebb and flow of this whole fighting
Yeah.
is going to be great for the consumers or the PC guys, because I'm not a PC gamer. But yeah,
Well,
be
you know,
great.
yeah, either way. I mean, well, you say that, but like Xbox is continually dabbling more into more
Xbox
into
continuously dabbing.
Get
You know,
that
your
dab
consoles.
going.
All the way to E3.
all the way. They're doing the mouse and keyboard support. Theoretically, they're going to be getting more PC games onto Xbox, so there's avenues into that stuff too. But the other game I couldn't think of, Ashen. That was the other one. Ashen came out on Xbox and only the Epic Store. That one was weird because it was on Steam. You could pre-order it on Steam till the day of the Game Awards, and then everything on the Steam page got taken down. And then Epic announced at the Game Awards that it was only on the Epic Store. That seemed like that was a last-minute deal.
So what happens if you had pre-ordered it? I'm assuming you just got a refund.
You probably got a refund if I had to
Yeah.
guess, yeah. But that's kind of weird, though, that it's like,
Yeah, definitely.
what? So, yeah, that's kind of the big deal with that. So you're already starting to see all these different companies starting competing on the storefronts and trying to get all the customers over to their side of things. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, moving on, quick hits. Rumor, Blind Squirrel Games working on a Mortal Kombat trilogy remaster of the first 3 Mortal Kombat games. Any of you guys have fond memories about the original Mortal Kombat?
No, my first thought was just like, modern Mortal Kombat 10, like, wasn't that a really good game? Didn't people love that game? Like, why? I don't know why you're trying to take that many steps backwards.
Well, Mortal Kombat 11's coming out in April, too.
And that's also
So-
true. I just feel like that's like a thing where you might have nostalgia for it, but if you go back to it, I feel like you would just be like, why aren't I just playing 10 or soon to be 11? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
don't know. I thought this was a weird story in the sense that I'm like, is anybody actually asking for this? Like,
No.
it's like the difference between, did you want Super Smash Bros. Ultimate or did you want Super Smash Bros. 64 remastered? It's like that. I don't know. That's not even a question.
They want the same thing.
It's the same amount of characters when you start.
I'm just kidding.
That's true. It's pretty much the same game. It's a good point.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't know if anybody was asking for this. I don't know if this is just a cash grab. I guess maybe. I don't know.
How much cash are they really going to be grabbing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
$50.
Do you think this would even be a full price game?
I mean 5 people would pay $10.
My bad. Sorry. Thank you, Maldo, for the clarification. Damn, savage. Okay, moving on. So have you guys did you guys already been playing Kingdom Hearts 3? You know that new game? You already playing it? Risky? Did you already get a copy?
No, and I never will.
Oh, that's right. Okay, took that a different way. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have seen on Twitter, but the game's not out for another month. People have already been playing that game. That game is out there in the wild in a significant amount, apparently. Enough so to where the director and Square Enix are thanking fans for their support in. This is weirdly worded, but the director thanked the fans for the support and promised to investigate leaks. How basically the game got out to the general public so early.
So, Doc, when you asked me originally, I thought the game was already out, and you were just asking me if I was playing it. It's like, nope, not my thing, Doc. Didn't realize it wasn't out yet.
It's risky. That game sucks. Moving on.
Whew, all right.
That's how much it's on our radar.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean.
I'm sure some people in the community are pumped about a game like that, but it's just never been my thing. So.
Yeah, there are some people that are really, really into those games.
Kaboski,
for
is he one of them?
sure. Probably. I mean, he's into that Switch anime
Thing?
game with women with the very large.
Isn't that every
Armor
anime
pieces.
game on the Switch?
You know what? You're right. What am I saying?
Continue.
I still got to play that game that was at E3 that had the wolf with the pipe it was smoking. Can't remember
I
what that was.
literally
I
have
wanna
no
play
idea
that,
what you're talking
whatever it
about.
was.
Again.
There was an anime trailer at E3, and it had a wolf walking up to a cliff, and he was smoking a pipe, and I'm like, I will try that game.
Talking
Are
about
you sure,
Okami?
though?
That's the only thing I know at a wolf on
No,
Switch.
it's getting ready to come out right now. It's
Oh,
like
it's not out yet.
it's a
Oh.
remastered. I don't know. I'll look.
Quick
it up later.
hits.
Anyways, yeah. Okay, so nobody cares about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Nope.
Per Clobryle, this is the guy we like to refer to him as a poor man's Jason Schreier. On Twitter.
Who's saying that?
Just Doc.
Just me.
Just Doc.
I mean, when we always quote Jason Schreier and we have somebody else recording, it's like we got to kind of make a point to be like, this is not Jason Schreier for our insider information.
I
But,
think people would know by the name.
hey, you know
not
what,
Jason
Maldo?
Schreier.
Maldo, you weren't into Kingdom Hearts 3, so you just shut it, okay?
You're right. Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
I'm going to mute myself.
So this guy works at he's normally been leaking information about Xbox related things, but he also works at Piranha Games, who they are responsible for MechWarrior 5 and MechWarrior Online.
Is that the McDonald's version?
Maybe. It's either
Here
that
all week, people. Here all week.
He's quoted saying, "There's a lot going on I can't really say. I will say that I am going to Seattle on Wednesday, and I am visiting Microsoft headquarters, and this will not be the first conversation I've had with them. There have been a half a dozen this year so far." This comes after last week when he talked about how he has been informed of a new, or Microsoft bringing back a original IP that they own with the launch of the next Xbox. So now everybody's kind of thinking from this is that, well, does that mean Microsoft is bringing back MechWarrior IP to start off the next gen as well? Any of you guys have any fond memories about the older MechWarrior games? Something that you might be interested in checking out if they did reboot that franchise?
I bet you have fond memories of these games.
Actually,
Doc.
I don't. I don't. I never got into these games.
I
but
never
know,
played any of them.
Yeah, I know it was
Yeah.
a lot of people did like them, but I never got into.
I
them,
will
though.
say that when I first read this, I read MW5,
Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare
yeah.
5, and I was like,
I let-
thank God, this is gonna be amazing. And now you're talking about mechs and stuff. So that sucks.
The reason I left that was because I knew
Yep.
when I first saw that, I was like, I'm gonna leave that because I guarantee
You're a
somebody's gonna think that's Modern Warfare.
I was like, I don't know who Piranha Games are,
Yeah,
but if they make a good Modern Warfare 5, I'll love them forever.
I didn't put this in the news, Risky. The last thing I'll say on the quick hits was the Call of Duty has a Android mobile game now.
Oh,
Um,
I'm already pre-registered, bro. You know.
oh, my bad. Sorry.
Duh.
Come on,
That's old
My
news.
B.
it's live in
My B.
Australia right now.
Yeah.
Did someone
Okay.
give you the heads up?
Maybe. Yes. Thank you.
He's already level 102 on the on the store. Okay?
On the contraband.
On the contraband flat market.
All right. Well,
That's
hey,
it.
good week of news. But we're not done yet. New games for the week, plus a little more. Maldo, you want to take care of this?
Yes. So new games for the week. Firewatch. And I don't understand how you guys do the time. So yesterday, but out now.
Think about what time people will be listening to this.
Okay. So, if you're listening to this the day it's released, I believe Firewatch will be out that day or today.
Nope, it was out yesterday,
believe in my
which
heart.
means it was out now, which is what you would say. I don't know. Apparently, I need to stop.
I like to think a lot of people like our podcast because they get a really in-depth analysis of what our show notes say exactly, and there's no guesswork as far as what we've got typed out and we're reading from. So
You guys
know.
make time so complicated.
It's tough being a time traveler.
So next, Donut County for the Switch and Xbox out today. I'm assuming that the day this show releases.
Yep,
Went down that road again. Okay.
Okay. And then Realm Royale Founders Pack available for Xbox for $14.99. Anybody interested in that real quick?
Yes.
No.
Has it been?
No.
Have you tried that yet, Risky?
Yeah, that's the game I was
You
talking
tried on
about that I played
PC?
on PC. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Is it good?
Fortnite. I think it's good. It's kind of different. It's like class based, so you pick different people who have like different abilities and stuff, which
I
is
see
kind of cool.
Fortnite, but no building.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
The
That's
looks
not
of
far.
it too, like it looks like Fortnite, but there's no building. It's
So that
it's fun.
that's the Founders Pack is instant access to Realm Royale and some cosmetic bundle.
But
PSA.
blackout is a thing, so
Yeah.
probably not
Yes.
worth your money.
Yes. Probably not worth
And
your
a
money.
lot more.
PSA, games leaving Game Pass end of December. Xbox One got Deadlight Director's Cut, Farming Simulator 15. I don't know who's playing that. Injustice, Gods Among Us, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, NBA Playgrounds, WRC 5, and then for Xbox 360, Bayonetta.
I will say that 5 of those games are currently downloaded on my Xbox, and I'm going to leave it there. And you can guess which ones they are. Good luck, everybody.
Farming Simulator 15.
Hey, speaking of Farming Simulator, there was a story I left out of the news. The newest version of that game sold over 1 million copies in the first week.
Wow.
No.
Farming Simulator 19.
Gotta bail
Yes.
that hay.
Yes.
I wonder what, if
I
I
don't
like
know.
Stardew Valley, am I going to love Farming Simulator in 19? But
See, I don't think
I'm
so.
too
but
far above it somehow.
it is. To me, it's too far removed. I tried out the one in Game Pass, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get where the fun is in this.
Are those games third person? I would assume.
No, it's first person.
Oh
I
my
think you
God,
can
the
maybe do
immersion.
third person when you drive and stuff, but I don't know. But
Yeah, it pulls you out when you're driving the
Yeah.
tractors, doesn't
I
it?
gotta go to
Yeah.
work Monday through Friday. I don't want to do chores.
I mean, are we
On my
that
Xbox.
surprised after like Euro Truck Simulator and all these games have like 15
True.
sequels? Like they have to be making money somewhere, right? Like
1 million? That's ridiculous.
yeah, that was I left it out. I was like, who cares about that? And I was like, damn though, that's a lot.
It is
What-
now relevant in our podcast.
Whatever
I'm glad we
makes you
could squeeze
happy.
it in here.
I am gonna try and finish Ground Zeroes because it's super short. I played it through once and got like half the gamer score. It might be one I can actually finish.
Oh, that was like the little prequel thing.
That
Yeah, it was
came
like an
out,
hour.
I just
2
read that
years
as
before.
being Metal Gear Solid 5. I was like, Maldo, that's not a short game. Hate to break it to you.
Let me tell you.
Yes, Ground
Well,
Zeroes
hey.
was very short.
Ground Zero, I mean, if you do one scenario but that thing's got like 5 different, not 5, but like dozens of different scenarios you can play through with like objectives and stuff. So
Huh, cool.
they squeeze a lot out of the possibilities, just like the main game does. With how you go back to maps and stuff. So
Right.
they get a lot of mileage out of that.
All right, good deal. We did it. Made it through another podcast. First and foremost, you can head on over to crossatlanticgaming.com to find all of the following. You can hang out with us on Discord. That's the best place to be. That's the best place to tune into the community, chat with the community, chat with us, chat with everybody. They're talking about everything all the time, and it's a great, great, great thing. So do it. Do it now. Next, if you want to spend your hard-earned money, you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. We just did the drawing last episode, but if you want to get in on the next one, head on over there, support us, and maybe we'll throw a game your way. On the socials, we are at CAG podcast. That's Twitter and Instagram. That's about it. If you want to find me, I am Risky the Kid everywhere. How about you, Doc?
Doc H1X1 everywhere.
Chocolate.
Chucklebear 80, wherever I care to be.
All right. Hey, thanks for being on the show, Maldo. We love you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Everyone else, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Do you know what Kaboski and me call Mario Party now in Discord?
Shite.
Hashtag Game of the Year.
Game of the Year party.
No.
Adequate.
Yeah.
Or adequate. Nope. Accurate. That's what I meant. One of those A words.
Ass.
Yep, that was the next one. That was it. That's what he actually meant to say. That was.
I meant to mention that we're on True Achievements. God damn it.
We're on True Achievements?
Yeah, we've got a True Achievements leaderboard.
Well, hey, we're still recording.
Wait.
So
Yeah.
this may not be the funniest
Outro.
but it will definitely be the most informative, and you're welcome.
I thought it was about to get like Risky was going to pull up a chair backwards and be like, "Let me talk to you kids about smoking."
The more you know.
You were going to get a decent one here. For all you achievement hunters, we are now live on True Achievements. Just search Cross Atlantic Gaming.
Why is he talking like this?
Because I'm holding my mic, and it's pretty big.
Oh my God.
no,
done.
no,
We're done.
no.
Goodbye.
Cut that out.
No, that's 100% ending the podcast that way.
Yep. And here we
End scene.